Did you know that the Vatican had to come to Seville to investigate this crucified Christ? Why? This is the Christ of the Honeys, crafted by the famous sculptor Antonio Susio in the 19th century. According to legend, Antonio Susio was so distraught when he finally looked at his finished work and saw the feet and the legs of the Christ that he took his own life. While Susio might not have been exactly pleased with how his Christ turned out, that wasn't the main contributing factor to how he ended his life. He was also in a terrible marriage and in a lot of debt. Soon after his untimely death at the end of the 19th century, Susio was buried in the cemetery of San Fernando on the outskirts of Seville. It wasn't until much later, however, in 1940, when one of his last works was placed above his tomb in the centre of the cemetery. This is where it starts to get really interesting. Soon after the crucified Christ was placed above the tomb of Antonio Susio, observant Sevillanos started to notice that there was a mysterious liquid oozing from the mouth of Christ. As you can see here, the mouth of Christ is slightly open. People started to flock to the cemetery, believing that this was a miracle and a sign from God and a sign from Antonio Susio. So many people flocked to the cemetery that eventually they had to call the Vatican in to do a full-on investigation of what became known as the Christ of the Honeys. However, after a more thorough investigation, it was discovered that in fact, between the lips of the Christ, some bees had set up a honeycomb, and in the scorching heat of Sevilla, the Christ body was heating up and the honey was melting and oozing out of his mouth. Mystery solved. While the mystery may have been solved, the legend still lives on, and many people still visit the cemetery of San Fernando just to see this miraculous Christ, and it is a well-recommended visit. Like and subscribe for more Sevilla Storytime.